How y'all doing, man? We're here. We're here. Everybody pop on in. You know how I do these pop-up spaces. They can pop up and pop off at any time. It can be early, it can be late. Usually I'm on here late because that's what time all of my kids are in bed. They take their asses to bed late, and then I hop on after I do what I do. But I'm glad to have y'all in here. What's up, NYCT? NYCT girl and Nikki the God. Welcome everybody in the room. Before we get started, I'm gonna get some folks to call in. I see Afro Elite in the building. What's up, Sincere? Um, don't forget we're having a rap contest at the Hidden History Museum on Saturday, August 12th. We're having a rap contest and a comedy show. So you guys are going to want to come through. That is going to be a very fun event, and we always have great fun events at the Hidden History Museum on Jefferson Boulevard here in Los Angeles. Y'all get your tickets at hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Hiddenhistorymuseum.com. If you are a spitter, if you can rhyme, come on, get in the contest, man. It's a $500 prize for the winner. So if you can spit, come on through, no matter the age. Well, yeah, I think you got to be 18 and over because we're in there serving liquor, or 21 and older. But yeah, 21 and up, come on through. The old school cats, come on through. Dust the microphone off and spit you a little something. Come in there and spit some Curtis Blow rhymes and do your thing. We had a poetry contest a few weeks ago. We had an old school dude come in there. He was doing some Sugar Hill Gang ass poems. If y'all remember, his brother came in spitting old school, and we welcome all of that. So come on through the Hidden History Museum, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, let me talk about what we're going to talk about today, real quick. There was an article. Was it the New York Times, the New York Post, the Washington Post? It was one of the major publications. And you know what? Let me be right and exact. Let me get the exact publication that put this article out, because reparations is a very hot topic, and we, foundational Black Americans, we have made it a hot topic. We're not letting up off of it. This is really the first time in history we have really stood on our square as far as the reparations conversation. Because usually we'll bring up reparations in a very shy manner, and we get talked out of it real quick. We get shamed out of going into reparations. But now we haven't let that happen. And the reason why we have not let that happen is because there's a cultural revolution going on. I've been telling people for the longest, once you get a clear understanding of what your culture is, everything else is going to fall right in place. All right. And we are understanding what our culture is as foundational Black Americans. And once you are rooted in your culture, that's going to keep you grounded. So people are not going to be able to sway you. This is why so many people are shook because of the FBA movement that's happening here. We're recognizing and appreciating our culture. And a lot of people are very shook now. So the article comes from the Washington Post. And I think they got a tether to write this thing. Somebody named Emmanuel Felton. I think this person is Jamaican. So they wrote for, and in the Washington Post, this is the white publication. So the article they wrote was activists split over whether reparations should go to Black immigrants. Now let's stop there. Who split? Not really. I mean, you got a couple of Pan African folks who just babbling, and you know who some of them are, but they're not taken seriously. All of these people, the N Cobras and the plebiscite babblers who's got real questionable lineage background, who have lineage backgrounds that's not FBA, or they have anchor baby lineages. Yeah, they're saying stuff, but we're not taking them seriously. We're not split on nothing. Let me read the article. It says activists split over whether reparations should go to black immigrants. Boston, when this city announced earlier this year that it would consider giving reparations to black residents, it was heralded as another victory in a national movement to offer recompense for the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow segregation. See, they try to be slick with that. See, they try to loop themselves into the Jim Crow part. All right, let's be very clear because they can't do anything about slavery. They know good and well you're not qualified to get reparations for slavery because you were not here during slavery. But there were some immigrants from Africa and the Caribbean, a very small few from Africa, but there was a small percentage of Caribbean immigrants who were around during the Jim Crow. So they're trying to loop on and latch on to the Jim Crow. But the reparations is not about Jim Crow. It's about slavery and what the descendants of slavery and the descendants of freedmen suffered during Jim Crow. Not all these other groups. See, I was on an interview the other day with some non-FBA hosts, and they were trying to use the whole, well, our people suffered, the legacy of slavery, it impacted us because of Jim Crow. They were treating enslaved people a certain way, and they kept treating black people the same during Jim Crow, and we were a part of that. No, no, no. You're not going to loop and latch yourself onto that because you came over voluntarily. See, that's the difference. You can't come over voluntarily and then claim, hey, look at how I volunteered to be mistreated because you had a choice to come over. You chose to come over. You can't say, I chose to come over and now I want to be compensated because I was mistreated like these other people. See, we got to watch the game. So let me finish reading the article here. It said the city played a major role in financing the slave trade and was the site of fierce resistance to integration. Now advocates said it's time to address the lingering damage. But as the mayor started choosing members of the Boston task force, the city quickly became one of the chief battlegrounds of an adjacent fight playing out within the black community. Should reparation programs be limited to people who trace their lineages back to American slavery, or should they include black immigrants who came to the country by choice? The debate highlights the tensions within America's rapidly changing black community and risks fracturing a movement that's already struggling to gain mainstream acceptance. It could also shape the reach and ultimate price tag of reparation programs being developed in more than a dozen states and cities around the country. They had one person saying this is not going to be some kumbaya moment, says Aziza Robinson Goodnight, a Boston based advocate calling for reparations to be limited to the descendants of enslaved people. We're going to have to fight. We're going to have to make the strongest case possible. The factions are at odds over what it means to be black in America at a time when that story is rapidly changing. For most of US history, nearly all black Americans could trace their ancestry back to American slavery. Immigrants, less than 1% of the black population in the 1980s, now make up 10%. Between now and 2060, about a third of the growth in the black population will come from immigration from countries like Jamaica and Ethiopia, according to the Pew Research. Now, it's very interesting that they named those two people because those two groups are some of the biggest FBA haters out here, especially the Ethiopians who don't even consider themselves black for the most part. Ain't that interesting? And some of them Jamaicans be on some, I ain't black, I'm Jamaican. Let's keep it a buck. If we're going to keep it, we're going to talk real. We're not going to play no games here. And we get calls from Ethiopians calling up, trolling with their anti-FBA hatred all the time. They sound like damn white supremacists. And you think we're going to share some reparations with them? Hell to the damn no. No, thank you. Hell no. No, 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 no. We're very clear on who's going to get reparations and who's not going to get reparations, and that we're not going to let them mumble and mix everything up. That's no disrespect to anybody. If you're not qualified to get it, you're just not qualified to get it. We're not going to play these games with people, and they know that, and they know muddying the water. They're trying to use the black immigrants to throw a monkey wrench in the whole thing. I've said before, if they allow the black immigrants to get it based on race, that's going to open the doors for everybody else. Now, I've seen some conversations from certain folks online saying that if reparations is lineage based, that'll open up white people because white people can say that they're descendants of slaves or whatever. Well, no, this is why I use the term foundational Black American, because no white person can say that they're a foundational Black American. You understand? See, that's why we have to start using these terms interchangeably. And also, one of the requirements that we are setting forth for the reparations is that you have to be a person who is currently classified as Black. So, making reparations race based, that's going to really throw a wrench in it because now you'll have not only all of these Hispanic people now claiming they're abuelas, the Black abuela back in Puerto Rico or back in Mexico, they'll start claiming to be Black. The minute you say we're going to have race-based reparations to Black people, that includes immigrants, Pablo Nem, all of a sudden they're going to start combing out the Rico Suave hairstyles and getting afros. They're all going to start claiming they're Black abuelas. I'm Black too, papi, to get a check. And then the white people are going to start saying, well, I'm 1/4 Nigerian. I like hot Cheetos, bro. They're going to start claiming some great, great, great Black distant ancestor from back in the day. They're going to start doing that too. So this is why lineage base is very important. Foundational Black Americans, descendants of freedmen. Let's make it very, very clear. We got to get the language 100% right and exact because they're trying every little loophole they can put in to undermine us. Remember, like I did a broadcast yesterday talking about how it's part of the culture here to undermine us, to beat us out of some kind of financial windfall. That's a part of the culture. We have to stop that part of the culture. And I hate Negroes with the whole throwing the towel mentality. Man, these white people ain't gonna give us nothing. We need to sit down somewhere and just be quiet. Now, Sambo, eat your watermelon and hot pickle somewhere over there. We're not playing the throw in the towel game. We're standing up to this demonic beast and we're letting them know what we want. We don't give a damn if they don't want to give it. There's a lot of stuff they don't want to do. We'd be really ass out if we waited on what they wanted to damn do. I hate these old po mouth niggas always whining about what white folks want to do and don't want to do. Who gives a damn? We're talking about what you need to do and what you're going to do. If it was up to them, we'd be somewhere in some flood high water pans, barefoot, picking cotton and shucking corn all day. If it's up to them, it ain't about what they want, it's about what we want. We got to get off this thing where if the white supremacists say they don't want to do nothing, we just got to give up. No, that's not in our spirit, dude, especially as foundational Black Americans. And again, a lot of that, we ain't going to get nothing. Usually, it ain't even no FBA saying that. They love using the we term when they talk about our business. Just the fact that y'all speak like that, ain't no we in that. Look, where you from? And you start looking at these people's backgrounds, you see that they're tethers. Even on YouTube, look at all these folks on YouTube. Anytime you see some buffoon talking about we ain't gonna get no reparation, we don't need no reparation. What we need to stop begging for reparation. Usually, it's a tether who's faking the funk, some cowardly ass fleeing tether who didn't get it popping in their homeland and they fled, and they're trying to infuse that same failed mindset onto us so they can feel better. Yeah, but we're standing on our square. You understand? We have human rights, and we are supposed to make these people stand on justice. See, we have to stop being afraid to push that line. And we have to stop letting people come in and try to undermine the conversation with scared Negro talk. Well, let me see if I can read some more of the article and see what it says. When we talk about the nation's black population, we understand that it's one that's changing and it's more diverse than it already was, said Mark Lopez, Pew Director of Race and Ethnicity Research. They always got these foreigners in charge of the racial data and all of that stuff. Immigrants are a big part of that story. And so the immigrant experience is a growing part of the experience of Black Americans today. Okay, nah, that's tether talk right there. It's a debate playing across the country. A California panel recommended billions of dollars in reparations for its black residents, but it will exclude anyone who cannot trace their lineage in the United States back to 1900. You're welcome. That's us out here on the West Coast. We were pushing that line and we were standing on that heavy, even though we had these reparations task force meetings flooded with agents. There were agent provocateurs just flooding the zone, and we still stood on our square. The article continues. Smaller reparations programs launched by cities in Rhode Island and Illinois have not made a distinction, and Black immigrants are able to apply. And those are not reparations programs, those are con games. That jive ass nonsense they got going on in Illinois, that's not reparations, and we've discredited that. Y'all not going to throw some horse crap against the wall and call it reparations, and we're going to sit here and accept that as reparations. That ain't no damn reparations. All of these other programs that they got that they're letting all the tethers and all of these people in, those are not reparations programs. We are discrediting all of that. Anytime they come to us, hey guys, look, we got something. We got a brand new reparations program where we're going to have a lotto and we're going to give a grant and everybody's going to get some bundles, and then you're going to get some Chick-fil-A coupons, and then there's going to be another grant that people might be able to win, and everybody's qualified to get it. That ain't reparations, buddy. That ain't reparations. That's a potluck bingo game. That ain't no damn reparations. Let's go back to the drawing board and get it right. We're defining what reparations mean. You understand? We are defining what it is. See, this is why it's so very important to make a power move to self identify, one, and then you determine the terms of your compensation because you're now self identifying. See, what happens when we let other people identify us, then they can determine who gets what and what gets gotten. See, we let them run that game on us with affirmative action. See, when it was time to give us compensation in the 1960s, instead of reparations, they remixed the word. They said, well, we'll give you affirmative action. It's an action and it's affirmative and it's going to give you something. And then they defined us. They redefined us instead of black. They were like, okay, you're now a minority. You're a minority, and so are white women, and so are Asians, and so are Hispanics, and so are LGBT people. So we're going to give this affirmative action to help black people, but we're going to give it to you because you're a minority. You're part of a big minority thing because you want to be equal, right? And we up there like, yeah, I guess we want to be equal. Okay, well, yeah, what would be equal is everybody who's been disenfranchised in any way. They're going to be a part of this minority coalition, and we're going to have compensation for all of the marginalized minority groups. Now, doesn't that sound like some good equality there? Yeah. And then what happened? All of these other minority groups started getting the majority of the affirmative action benefits, and we were left with crumbs. And then they took the crumbs away. So we're left with nothing because we let them define us. That's mistake number one. So I'm glad we're learning from a lot of the mistakes that we made. Now, when it's time for reparations, okay, we want it for foundational Black Americans. Who's that? Us, people who descended from slavery, people who descended from the freedmen, people who built this country. The term has a patriotic vibe to it, so they can't say that it's un-American. No, no, no. America's right in the term. Because see, that's how they like to do. When you start identifying yourself, see the problem that a lot of Black folks would do when you start identifying yourself, you do some real radical ass name, which makes you into an out group. So then they can redefine you as some kind of nefarious organization that's trying to undermine the government and all of that stuff. And they can easily play you off and play you off like another, play you off like a foreigner. See, niggas get to talking all that plebiscite Pan African talk. Well, yeah, we didn't redefine ourselves. We are the new Republic of American Ghana. It's some real goofy shit. It's always that. Yes, we have defined ourselves. Um, we are a new organization. We are the United Slaves of Hot Tamale Land, and just some real dumb shit. Yes, we want to get part of Texas and part of Mexico so that we can grow crops and form our militia groups. And we're going to do a march with our weapons to show you exactly who we are. That stupid shit. You know? So no, we're not even doing that. No, no, no. We're not no group. We're not no organization. We're talking about the 40 million plus people who come from the descendants, who descended from the people who built this country, the foundational Black Americans. So we're not othering ourselves. We're grounding ourselves in the American culture because we built the country. We have to really understand that. We really have to own that. And we're stopping these people from running the whole Wakanda game. That's why why do y'all think Akon is out here crazy? Have y'all noticed Akon is doing a lot of interviews? Why are they platforming this guy? I want y'all to think about it. Notice Akon ain't got no music out, but he's doing interviews all over the place selling Wakanda. He's out here doing these interviews telling us we need to go to Africa. Every interview is all about, yeah, man, these Black Americans, man, y'all over here suffering. Man, y'all need to go to Africa. It's everything you need is in Africa. Man, you go over there, you gonna have it made, man. I don't know why y'all suffering and struggling. Y'all want it. Y'all niggas love punishment. Y'all go to Africa, it's on and cracking. Y'all get to eat good and gold and diamonds. And then when I build Akon City, it's gonna be Mountain Dew sprouting up from the water fountains and shit. It's gonna be no, no, brother. We're not. Yeah, stop. They've been running that hustle on us since the 1920s. Well, even before Garvey, the 1910s. The Chief Alfred Sam hustle. They're selling the Africa Wakanda game, and we're just not buying it. We're not buying it. No disrespect to Africa. Hey man, we want you to do good, but don't sell us the package when you trying to bring your ass over here. Akon and those guys, y'all trying to get over here. Let's be real. Y'all doing everything y'all can to get over here, and then trying to get us over there with them tribal beefs. No, thank you. And shout out to y'all. Much love to y'all, but no, thank you. But there's no split mindset. We're not split on anything. It makes zero sense for an immigrant to get reparations for slavery, and none of your descendants suffered in the slave trade or slavery in America. And I've heard some arguments, well, we suffered because some of our peoples was taken away from Africa, and some of them was our relatives, our distant relatives, so they took our people away, so we suffered for a loss of our people, so shouldn't we get something? No, nigga, no, because that means you were selling folks. No, no, you're not gonna get double the money. No, You already got paid for the sale. Y'all was selling some of the people. What kind of ass backwards con game is that? No, 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 no. We're gonna have to be real about this. A lot of them were very complicit in what was going on. We can play this game if we want to. A lot of them were very complicit. Elmina Castle was over there untouched for a long time. Nobody was burning Elmina down or breaking it down. The place is still standing since the 14 damn hundreds. And they're still making money off of it. You go over there and they're showing you where we sold you. Look, nigga, over here in this dungeon, my people put your people here and sold you for jewelry and glass plates. That type of shit. You niggas suffered here. This is the door of no return. I've never had, to be honest, I've never had a desire to go to the Elmina Castle. I've never had a desire to go there. Never. Because I'm like, how come y'all niggas weren't out here trying to burn this shit down? Yeah? How come y'all weren't trying to break this thing down and stop the whole trade from going on? Because y'all were complicit in it. Yeah, I don't want to see that. But I digress. We got a lot of people in here. Late night. Y'all raise your hand if y'all want to get on. Let me get some of y'all on here, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget, we're having a rap contest and a comedy show at the Hidden History Museum. Ladies and gentlemen, August 12th, get your tickets at hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Come out there and chill with us, man. It's a nice vibe. It's a real nice vibe. You'll love it.